Picture this: a room full of my smug, designer-clad family, laughing behind their hands, calling me the nobody, in the corner. That was me, Miranda Hayes, the black sheep of the prestigious Parker Hayes clan, sitting quietly at my grandfather's will reading. Then, in one heart-stopping moment, the lawyer dropped a bombshell. I inherited everything. $487 million, the family empire, the sprawling estate, all of it. Their faces? Oh, they went from smug to ghost white in seconds. My mother actually fainted, my father looked like he'd seen a ghost, and the room erupted into pure chaos. Live, raw, and unfiltered. Want to know how I went from the family disappointment to the one holding all the cards? Stick around, because this story is wild, and if you've ever been underestimated, you're gonna love every second of it. Drop a quick "I'm here" in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. This one's for anyone who's ever been counted out. For 28 years, I was the odd one out in my family. While my parents, Lauren and Garrett, and my siblings, Vanessa and Tyler, lived for boardrooms, private jets, and yacht parties, I was teaching art to kids in a cozy Boston apartment, paint stains on my hands and dreams in my heart. To them, I was a failure. I'll never forget my 12th birthday when my mom sighed at my paint-splattered fingers, saying, "Miranda, when will you outgrow this artsy phase? Your sister was already planning her corporate takeover at your age." Ouch. Vanessa, the golden child, had Harvard Business School and a perfect life mapped out. Tyler, my younger brother, could crash luxury cars and still get a pat on the back for his business sense. Me? I was invisible, except to one person, my grandfather, Theodore Teddy Parker. Grandpa Teddy was different. While the family chased status, he'd sneak away to my tiny art studio, his eyes lighting up at my canvases. "Mira," he'd say, using his special nickname for me. "You see the world differently. That's your superpower." 3 months before he passed, he visited me while I was painting a Massachusetts coastline. "You see beauty and truth," he said, studying my work. I laughed it off, thinking, what good is that in the Parker Hayes dynasty? But his eyes had this spark, like he knew something I didn't. If I'd known those were his final words to me, I'd have asked more questions. Instead, we sipped tea and talked about my upcoming art show, one my parents were, of course, too busy to attend. Family gatherings were torture. At Christmas, I'd show up with handmade gifts, only to watch them get buried under piles of Rolexes and designer bags. One year I overheard my mom whisper to my aunt, "Miranda's just different. We've tried, but she insists on this bohemian lifestyle." The way she said bohemian made it sound like a curse word. Still, I'd built a life I loved, teaching kids, creating art, surrounded by friends who saw me for me. I told myself I didn't need my family's approval. But when Grandpa Teddy passed, everything changed. It was a rainy Tuesday when my mom called, her voice cold. "Your grandfather's gone. Funeral's Friday. Where's something appropriate?" No comfort, no warmth, just a quick hang-up. I sat in my studio, tears mixing with paint on my canvas, grieving the one person who truly got me. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived from Preston and Associates, attorneys at law, summoning me to the will reading at the Parker estate. "Your presence is of particular importance," it said. My mom called again, dismissing it as a formality. "Preston insists everyone be there, regardless of relevance." That word, relevance, cut deep, but I agreed to go, ignoring her demand to wear the navy dress she'd picked out years ago. Instead, I chose a black dress and a vibrant scarf I'd painted myself. A small act of defiance, but it felt right. Driving to the Greenwich estate, I braced myself for the usual, being ignored, sidelined, seated at the kids' table of a family that never saw me. The mansion was a showpiece, all marble and chandeliers, surrounded by luxury cars that made my Honda look like a toy. Inside, the whispers started the moment I walked in. My cousin's husband did a double-take, like I was crashing the party. My dad, Garrett, barely glanced at me, muttering, "I'm surprised you bothered to come. This is for the active family members." I bit my tongue, taking my seat in the corner, half hidden by a fern. Classic Miranda. The library where the will was read was straight out of a movie, towering bookshelves, sunlight streaming through tall windows, and my family arranged like royalty. My parents claimed the prime leather chairs, Vanessa and her perfect husband on a plush love seat, Tyler and his influencer wife, Jenna, snapping selfies until the lawyer walked in. Philip Preston, a calm, silver-haired man, began with the small stuff. Mom got the family jewels, Dad got Grandpa's vintage cars, Vanessa got the Hamptons villa, Tyler got an Aspen property. Everyone nodded, but you could feel the tension. They were waiting for the big prize, the estate, Parker Industries, and a $487 million portfolio. Then came the moment that flipped my world upside down. My mom, thinking she was whispering, leaned toward my dad and said, "Why is the nobody even here?" Laughter rippled through the room. My cheeks burned, but I kept my face neutral, a skill I'd mastered over years of their jabs. Preston cleared his throat, looked straight at me, and read, "The remainder of the estate, including Parker Manor, controlling interest in Parker Industries, and the investment portfolio valued at $487 million, I bequeath to my granddaughter, Miranda Hayes." The room froze. You could have heard a pin drop. Then pandemonium. My mom collapsed into her chair, clutching her throat. My dad's chair crashed backward as he shot up, shouting, "This is a mistake!" Vanessa's perfect composure cracked, her mouth flapping like a fish. Tyler knocked over a vase, screaming, "This can't be legal!" And Jenna? She was filming it all, probably live-streaming the meltdown. I sat there, heart pounding, feeling like I was watching a reality show, not living it. Preston raised a bell to quiet the chaos. Theodore anticipated this reaction, he said, turning on a TV. There was Grandpa Teddy, looking tired but sharp, speaking from that very library. "If you're watching this, you know my decision. I've been testing you all for years, not on business smarts, but on character. You valued status over people, wealth over compassion. You failed. Except Miranda." He listed their sins: my dad firing a loyal employee to cut costs, my mom turning her back on Grandpa's struggling secretary, Vanessa sabotaging a colleague, Tyler misusing company funds. "Miranda," he said, his voice softening, "you helped a student's family avoid eviction. You visit lonely neighbors. You create beauty without asking for anything. You're the leader this legacy needs." He ended with a warning: contest the will, and his damning records go public. The screen went dark. My family turned on me, accusations flying. "You manipulated him!" Vanessa shrieked. "What trickery did you use?" my mom hissed. My dad demanded Preston fix this, while Tyler vowed to bury me in court. I finally spoke. "I had no idea. This is as much a shock to me as it is to you." But they weren't listening. Preston handed me an envelope, Grandpa's letter to me, and ushered me to a private study, my family's shouts echoing behind me. I drove home, hands shaking, the letter unopened in my lap. My life had just changed forever, and I wasn't ready. The next week was a war zone. My phone exploded with voicemails, my mom's fake tears begging for family unity, my dad's threats to protect the company, Vanessa offering to help with the portfolio, Tyler flipping between legal threats and fake nostalgia about childhood games. I couldn't bring myself to open Grandpa's letter, not yet. On day 8 I finally did. "My dearest Mira," it began. "You're likely overwhelmed, maybe even angry. I'm sorry for the burden, but I chose you because you passed every test of character, compassion, integrity, kindness, without knowing you were being tested. In the safe behind my study's portrait, you'll find my journal. The combination is your birthday. It explains everything. This legacy can do good in your hands. Never apologize for who you are." I cried, not just for him, but for the weight of what he'd entrusted to me. I found the journal, a leather-bound record of his tests. My mom refused to help a loyal employee in need. My dad hid gambling debts with company money. Vanessa stole credit for others' work. Tyler bullied staff when he thought no one was watching. And me? Small acts of kindness I'd never thought twice about. Helping a stranger, supporting my students. Grandpa had seen it all. I called my best friend, Olivia, who laughed. Mira, you've been wrangling kids with no budget for years. You're ready for this. Her belief in me was a lifeline. I decided to face my family on my terms. In the estate's dining room, my dining room, I sat at the head of the table, Preston by my side, security at the doors. I'd spent days studying Grandpa's journal and company documents. My family arrived, expecting me to crumble. Instead, I laid it out. Grandpa's decision is final. He chose me because he saw who you really are. I held up the journal. Want to hear what he thought of you? My dad's face went red, my mom paled. I listed their secrets: embezzlement, affairs, sabotage, fraud. I don't want to use this, I said, but I won't be bullied. My mom broke down, admitting her jealousy. He loved you in a way he never loved me. Tyler, shockingly, offered to help. I failed his tests, but you'll need someone who knows the business. Vanessa confessed her cruelty, tears in her eyes. For the first time, I saw them as people, not just my critics. 3 months later, I'm sitting in Grandpa Teddy's old office, now mine, filled with light and local art. I've shaken up Parker Industries, living wages, parental leave, an emergency fund for employees. The board was skeptical, but profits are up, and investors love our ethical stance. I launched the Theodore Parker Arts Foundation, funding community programs and scholarships. My family? It's complicated. I gave my parents the Hamptons house, but we keep our distance. Tyler's become an ally, pushing sustainability. Vanessa's trying, but old habits die hard. And me? I found Grandpa's secret paintings, stunning works he never showed anyone. I finished one of his landscapes, our brushstrokes blending across time. At the foundation gala, I unveiled it beside my portrait of him, the man who saw me when no one else did. This isn't just about money, it's about redefining what family means, what legacy means. I was the nobody who became the guardian of the Parker Empire, not because I chased power, but because I chased truth. Have you ever been the underdog who proved everyone wrong? Share your story in the comments. I'm reading every one. If this hit home, smash that like button, subscribe, and share with anyone who needs a reminder. The quiet ones see everything. Thanks for joining me on this crazy ride. Until next time, keep being unapologetically you.